Map number 1 was a rodeo, and we got trampled by the bulls. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips here. MIBR escape, bloodied and battered, but with a victory over W7M on the pick of W7M Academy. Anubis map number 2. BRN on the CT side with one of the dualies. Turtle with another. Stormzyn with that first trade and still trying to clear out the site. Turtle, though, standing tall. Dual Beretta's only good for a pair. However, that bomb will go down for W7M Academy, and that is a big win for them already. Still looking to do more damage. Insani exit here. Turtle, or rather Henny, excuse me, coming through the canals, looking to go through E-Box. Double swing, double. Both players pushing. They both are spotted. Now it's a lot of information for the CT side.
It's a lot of information. Even footing, but is there a kit down? I don't see one. Saadzin is on the P250. Drops one, drops two, trading out his teammate. That is the first pistol round won by W7M Academy in this series, and also an important one on the T side of Anubis. Keep in mind that that is incredibly T-sided. They need to get the ball rolling quickly, and that is the best way to do exactly that. Bailing themselves out of a difficult situation. In the early goings, they lost 2 for the price of 1, but in the end, they are the ones that prevail victorious. 1-0. Made in Brazil, though, aren't going to wait by for the first rifle round. They're going to invest into round number 2. A Scout, a pair of MP9s, a Deagle, a 5.7, no kit, but they're looking to win this by scrappy duels, not by a post-plant retake.
Yeah, Scrappy Duels was the name of the game on Inferno. We'll see if it's going to continue to be the case here on Anubis. I hope, for our sanity's sakes, Nate, it's not. We get a little more standard Counter-Strike here. But this would be a good force buy to win the double MP9s. Oh, that's again an MIBR player caught with something other than a gun in his hand.
It was timing again, to be fair. Every single time it's been, like, a couple times it has been just, you have a nade, you're pulling out a nade at a time when it shouldn't happen. That time it's him looking at a smoke, he held it for 10 seconds. There was no one coming through. That timing could not have been worse.
Yeah.
When the timing is consistently against you, I get it. That is when it seems like there's an actual underlying problem. Regardless, exit forced out of the round, bomb site taken, and Made in Brazil going for a conservative yet measured call that I very much agree with. We've talked about this before, you and I, Boggs. If you don't find the early kill, the early advantage on these save rounds, and the bomb plant goes down, you save your weapons and your Kevlar for the follow-up. That's exactly what they're doing now. The scout tags JZ1 might dissuade him from peeking. Instead, it's Burns in to put him in the dirt. And that weapon will not be retaken either. It's a MAC-10. They don't need it. 4 players survive for both teams. And Made in Brazil will still have some teeth to work with going into round number 3.
They will have teeth to work with, and maybe a little bit more, too. We'll see. If Exit wants to invest anything into this round, maybe get dropped to P250, something a little more impactful than a USP. There's a P250 drop for him. That's a good call. P250, we saw evidence of its potency in the last map on Inferno. So it's never a bad idea to have a P250 on hand, Nate. So Galil's, though, up against them. The AK for Zed. And Turtle, a very aggressive angle. This Deagle from Insani, though. This is something that can always be dangerous. The Deagle's at a range. Henny's Scout can do some tagging, maybe a frag as well, but I think it's more tag 'em and bag 'em that you want to be doing in this kind of a setup for MIBR. Just chip away at what's W7M have and do damage slowly but surely. That's a aggressive peak from Insani, though, and that's going to spiral out of control, I think, for MIBR.
Probably should. That's an interesting spot. I haven't watched too much high-level Anubis. That corner, that cubby, spotted the crossing of Insani. If he goes for the peak, he's dead to rights, and that's exactly what happened. There's a firing squad of players, 2 or 3, just posted on the angle. He might have been lucky to find one with a 1 dig very quickly, but surely he was not going to get away. 5 versus 4 secured for W7M, doing well to make these rounds relatively clean and convincing. Henny on site, though, wants to do some damage again. He wants to get the tag and let his teammates get the bag. Stormzyn instead is actually going to enter in towards B. It's a split towards the B site, and Stormzyn, storming the site, drops the only defender. Very well done. Bait and switch. Baiting the fake towards A, or not the fake, but the split, I should say, towards A, and then splitting towards B with the canals instead. JZ1 holding down below. In Brazil, they could save the Kevlar for the following, but with a little bit more reckless abandon this time around. They can buy in following no matter what. But W7M are set up incredibly well in this post plant. They should hold on to all 5 weapons going into round number 4. This is the best start they could ask for on the T side.
It is indeed the best start they could have asked for, although it can get better progressively more and more. Both teams do favor the T side. It's a 60.4% to 44.7% for W7M Academy. For Made in Brazil, 66 versus 49.5. So T side, definitely the name of the game, the place to be on Anubis. But now here comes the first real test for the W7M Academy. The guns are out for Made in Brazil. The op is out for Henny. There's kits available for the CT side, plenty of utility, rifles in their hands. There's still 3 Galils for the T side. But 3 players are more than fine economically for them, so that's always a nice plus. Saadzin gets tagged down by 43. I think that was a nade.
Must have been. It's starting harassing with the utility. This is a rather full buy for both teams as well. 2 ops. Saadzin with one, Henny with the other. I would say Saadzin definitely had more impact with the rifle, or with the op, excuse me, in the first map. Granted, Henny probably had more impact overall. His dominant performance. But he was definitely the one showing more impact with the big green on Inferno. We'll have to see if that's the same on Anubis. Galils on 3 is very difficult. In the same vein, 3/5 of Made in Brazil have no helmets, so Galils will be one-shot headshots against those players.
The Galil is just an M4, but worse. That's all it is. It's harder to control, a little bit worse in the initial accuracy, but other than that, it's an M4. Which is why I think it's better than FAMAS, but that's a conversation for another time. My own personal soapbox. Either way, though, time is dwindling very low. In go W7M, 1 stomping up through E-Box. It's got to be heard. 2 actually coming through. Insani swings out wide. Burns and removed. Turtle does stand tall for a pair. Insani still hanging around, and he will cap off Zed as well. Saadzin, the last man standing. 12 seconds to go. He's got to try and save MIBR. Stand up tall and knock down W7M on their first gun round. Of course, the T's will be able to buy again, especially with that op being saved. That's a big, clean, confident victory for Made in Brazil.
And it wasn't around where they forced the issue either. They just played their standard setups, rotating in a timely fashion when the time got down low, but no aggression. Nothing crazy from Made in Brazil, just holding their ground and forcing W7M Academy to make the move. We saw a kind of a similar situation early on in map number 1, where W7M Academy let the time get away from them on the T side. We do have a match medic coming through as well. Important to note. Doesn't look like this round is live. Players just fan out in their respective spawns. But Made in Brazil already looking solid on the CT side.
It's very early still for both sides, but that was a very confident victory for MIBR. Big standing up from the CT players, and Hendy didn't even have to do anything, which I think is the bigger thing for MIBR. The op, I believe, has not been discovered yet. So that's always a nice little surprise to run into. You have to assume it's a possibility, but until it's actually confirmed, so I was like, maybe they don't have an op. Maybe I'll go for a peek here, and then boom. There goes that op. We'll see. Shouldn't be too long of a match medic, though. The last one was not terribly long. So this one should be pretty quick as well. Let's see. Good amount of utility. Good amount of residual cash for MIBR as well. Although Turtle and Burnson a little bit lower in terms of the financial capabilities. JZ relegated to a MAC 10 over on the W7M Academy side. But Zed still has a good amount of money. $2,300 in the bank. Still. I think there's a lot of early ground importance on this round right now for W7M, especially if they want to get off to a big early lead. This is a pretty good start. They would need that fourth, get that early, and don't let MIBR start to build confidence in bank accounts Turtle, he's here on B, has some help as well through the fire. They'll go through behind that smoke. Turtle removed by the first player. Insani around the corner of one, sprays out another. stormzyn runs into two, but Insani is standing tall. Burnson's turn this time as he'll double down, leaving just JZ in a 1v3 to a 1v2. The bomb has been recovered by the very same man. An M4A1S as well in his hands. But a lot of time, which could factor against him. And Henny on the prowl, just walking into the open. Cranial cave-in delivered, courtesy of JZ. And exit now into a 1v1. This is a very dangerous situation now for Made in Brazil. So much possibility. Now starting to go back the other direction into the favor of the T side.
Talked about time getting away from W7M in the round prior. This round is very different. An aggressive play towards B leaves JZ with the luxury of time in the clutch. He uses that to find a timing onto Henny, and now he uses that once again to find a timing on entry into an empty B bomb site. He'll clear out all the angles he needs to, plant down in the standard cubby. One of those kind of stock standard plant positions, not exposed to E-box towards Canal. And he'll exit towards B-min as well. Very solid post plant for JZ1. Exit. He'll come up the canals. He knows the player can't be here, but he has to worry. Is he towards that long side of things, towards CT, towards the cave? Is he in towards the temple? Is he towards B? There's a lot of angles to worry about, and he has no kit either on his... Well, actually, he does have a kit, excuse me. But a lot for him to do, and he hasn't attempted the defuse either. He runs right by the bomb. Oh, no, this is so awkward. He's caught. JZ. A 1 versus 3 clutch to steal away the momentum once again for W7M. That punishes the CT economy. Their money's in a rather dire spot. We might see some hero pistols with Kevlar, but we should not see a full investment. Okay, never mind. We are going to see a scrappy investment.
They want to buy.
It's true. The scrappy buys have begun. They've been brought over from Inferno to Anubis. The question is, can Made in Brazil get one such scrappy buy to the victory column?
Shouldn't be too long away from figuring out if it's going to be a return to abnormalcy or if more traditional outcomes will retain. Insani, peeking aggressively, spots out one, has to be aware of his backside as well because I believe he might have spotted an elbow or some sign that people were waiting for a push. That's the thing. W7M very aware of the possibilities pushing around the map on the CT side, which leads me to believe that's something they'd also want to be doing on their own CT side when we get there. That's a good thing to be aware of for the T side, and a good adjustment by MIBR to at least have a probe for it in the early going, so they don't just get into this habit of pushing angles and then eventually getting picked apart before the round even really gets going. 54 seconds on the clock, though. A lot of time elapsed and no real ground gained by W7M Academy. And MIBR now starting to get a little more aggressive in towards Canal. Maybe Henny getting flashed through A long. This one could get a little bit weird as the crunch is coming down. The time is ticking away. Burnsyn. He smells a rat.
Back here. They can dismantle one half of this split. They find the first. Second is so far removed. 20 seconds left. They just go in through the main. They'll walk, spotting one towards Temple. Insani's the one to win the duel. saadzin finds Insani. Good trade, but Burnsyn is here to hold down, finding one, taking a second. And Turtle was definitely not expected here towards E-box. He finds the kill. Plant cannot be attempted now. It's just Stormzyn alone. No HP, no chance in the round. Turtle takes him down, sticking his head out of the shell. Second on the board for Made in Brazil, and W7M, they're stuck between slowing things down and letting time get away from them, or going fast and stampeding into the site. And right now, the stampede is definitely showing more promising signs of success.
Yeah, the stampede seemed to work a lot better on Inferno too, at least for MIBR at the tail end, and I believe W7M had a lot of success with that as well on their T side. So maybe it's something to go back to. Faster pace, just push it down. Bully the opposition. It's pistols out for W7M Academy, though. It's a full force here. Tech 9's Mac 10 Deagle. Henny behind the Molotovs. Exit spraying away from up top and window. JZ taking some damage. 3 players here to defend the A site with one holding down middle. Just a cursory holder at B in the form of Turtle, who will now be pressured upon as W7M have called the abort. And they're going back in towards the site. There's a free one for Burns, but he's only able to get one. So much damage eaten by W7M, but the bomb plant is a victory here. And they can still do a little more economic damage to the MIBR side. Insani spots a couple, but he cannot get the kills. The Molotov will fade, and that should spur them in with some utility from their teammates going over top. Henny has to be careful not to get caught off guard towards canals as well, and time is ticking down pretty low. There's a flank in the form of JZ. There's Insani and Turtle, making another for Insani. JZ, I don't think he's going to be able to do too much.
Plan for him? No, not might find one. No, not even that. Doesn't find the headshot. The Tech 9 is a fickle weapon. Exit. Sends JZ to the exit. Second round in a row secured for Made in Brazil. Clean one as well. Sure, they allow the bomb plant, but they don't bleed. They keep 4 players alive. That allows a full buy in the following, including the op for Henny. In W7M Academy, their force buy does not come to fruition. That means they should be on pistols yet again in round number 8.
MIBR starting to get a decent amount of rounds on the board here on the CT side, looking to tie things up at 4 apiece, but already losing that first player. Henny destroyed by saadzin, traded out, but Foku this time adds another one to the tally. Insani catches stormzyn out towards mid, but Foku drowned in the canals here on Anubis. Zed and JZ, the last 2 alive. One spotted, that's the elbow of JZ. A reposition from Insani, but the D-goal! Nate, that's a fight Insani doesn't need to take.
Definitely not a fight he needs to take. That one, a little bit more justifiable. Sure that they're away, but don't just continue to shoulder peek the Deagle because it will catch you eventually. Shoulder peeks back and forth. Eventually the stars will align, and more often than not, they're in favor of the mobile Deagle more so than the rifle. Burnsyn and Exit find themselves in a very, very scary situation. Sure, it's a 2 versus 2 where they have the favor in terms of riflery. But the Deagles have been hot, and there's a pair staring them down. Both players are tagged as well. Burnsyn is at 57, Exit's at 63. And W7M, back to their old strat book. Holding, waiting for aggression. Made in Brazil, they're already contemplating it. Exit, peeking in middle. Burnsyn, though, is set up, head on a swivel. He should have at least one, if not both, outright with this angle. Eagles are going to walk in as a unit. There's the first. Doesn't even stick around for the second. He'll throw a smoke instead. Stop the bleeding. Make this a measured victory and prevent the bomb plant. That is the goal for Burnsyn. He goes totally unexpected on the jump up, but he can't secure his footing. He does not quite get back down to the ground before taking the shot, and so the rifle steals away the round. Made in Brazil, take an expected 4th, but that round should not have been so costly.
No, it's an incredibly expensive round for Made in Brazil. Luckily for them, they still have the money to reinvest. But that's something they'll need to keep an eye on, because it's something that haunted W7M Academy down on the tail end of Inferno, was the lack of a solid bank account. MIBR, they are on the disadvantaged side, the unfavorable one. But they're starting to get a little aggressive. Zed's watching for it, though. There is the side peek from BRN. Nade Molotov's going in. Zed backs away, takes just a tad bit. 7 points of damage, not too much to really worry about, although the M4A1 could get the dink kill, depending on the range. Still, 5v5, a lot alive. Good amount of time on the clock as well, but no real ground gained for W7M Academy, which is a bit of a problem. When they go for these late hits, it can definitely end in a flurry of frags, usually won out by Made in Brazil. Probably try and get a pick here pretty quickly. This nade, though, if it's well timed in position, could do a good amount of damage to these 2 players. It takes JZ down to 17. stormzyn eats that nade. That's not even breakfast, lunch. That's a 5-course meal.
It's a massive set of utility damage taken on those 2 players, both below 20. stormzyn closer to 10, in fact. And time again, getting away from W7M. They don't really have canals control to be spoken of. They aren't looking up and above, and they aren't getting control for a B split. Instead, they're slowly now congregating. 2 will walk up middle. Foku here. His teammate at his back. That's Zed, excuse me. It's going to be an A split, it appears. Henny, though, posted with the op in towards the exit sign. Finds the first onto Foku. They'll continue their walk in. 18 seconds left. They have to go for it at this point. 3 players on this A site, though, to rebuke this take, and that flash does nothing. At this point, they're calling the save. They have to just fall back and wait. Yep. That is a painful call to make, but W7M, again, letting time get away from them.
Yeah, that's a big factor in this game of Counter-Strike is the clock management, and W7M not managing it very well here on Anubis. The MIBR, I think, also learned from their pistol round aggression the 2 rounds prior now. They're like, you know what? We're not going to peek these guys because, 1, they're hitting a lot of good shots. 2, we don't necessarily have to. We've won rounds when we're holding in our sights. We're holding around the obelisks and the rubble scattered about, and we're just able to get the kills. So let W7M come to us. We'll peek a little bit early, establish some pressure, and then just wait for them to come to us. They're receiving serve and dealing with it quite well, Nate. And W7M now need to pick up the pace here. They don't have a lot of utility to work with either. As of right now, 20 seconds into the round, 2 Molotovs, a smoke, and a flashbang. They've already taken a good amount of damage on Foku and JZ. They've got to move. And pretty darn quickly here, if they want a chance at getting anything out of this round, or else it's going to be a repeat of the last. And with no money left in the bank, they can't afford to save these guns and no utility.
No. At this point, they need to stop letting time get away from them. Their no-nonsense play towards B worked out. Their A-splits have been slow and predictable. They need to go for something quicker. B might not be the answer. I want to see something quicker towards A, but in the same vein, it feels like they don't really have a flat-out A take in mind. B is going to be the call. B is on the cards. That player might be caught with nades out. Turtle is only good for 1. The player on platform is caught as well. There we go. A no-nonsense, quick-ish play towards B is the key. 4 versus 3 secured. Sure, Foku's low, but the advantage is there on paper. Exit, Insani, and Henny have to try and recover. The player middle has fallen back. Will have to make their entry. That Molotov, though, stymies any aggression. That might be what does them in with less than half or thereabouts remaining on that bomb ticker. Sonny flashed in for 1 that plays around the pillar, though. Good flash and response gives Z yet another. And as JZ1 beheads Henny the Opper. Exit. True to his name, we'll try to find an exit. But the round has been duly secured by W7M. Tying it back up at 5 apiece. In Brazil. They will have enough to invest. Actually, will they? Yeah, they're going to go for it. It's made in Brazil after all, as you said. But this is a chance for W7M Academy to retake the momentum.
They do need to win this half if they want a chance at this map, statistically speaking. So they need to get this one going. They need to start putting rounds on the board consistently and together. They cannot have isolated round victories. Doesn't work on your CT side, doesn't work on your T side. It's more detrimental on the CT side, but still. You're not going to be able to win a game if you can't get rounds on the board in bunches. The W7M haven't been able to do that once the guns have been acquired by MIBR. Utility being tossed out by the T side, finding nothing so far. Insani, he's looking for an opening. But he's been forced away. A lot of utility used by both sides with about a minute on the clock to go. W7M need to make a move here, and it's looking like they want to push towards mid, and then figure out where they want to go from there, although mid-ace split seems to be the case with the lineup and the 2 players moving in towards long. Big gap for Insani to work with, too. I don't think they're going to be ready for it because he blocked their smoke. They try to peek it, and stormzyn has been quieted. And now Zeed! Oh, he falls victim to the same thing.
I don't think they expected it to be one way. I thought they might have just been sheer luck. JZ1 is trying to make inroads in. The meanwhile, the focus drops. That's the whole of this split taken down. Exit a pair to close it out. 6-5 secured. Made in Brazil. A clean one at that. They maintain momentum, and they prevent a bomb plant as well. That means the money of W7M Academy is kind of all over the place. Some players can go for the investment. Some players might be on Galil's instead. Less than ideal, but still doable. And we do have a tactical timeout coming from W7M Academy as well. This is a very, very timely timeout from them.
It is a very timely timeout, and it's a well-used timeout too. You got 4 of them to use per map. It's a good thing to use, especially when it is do or die time, as it is for W7M Academy. They lose this map, they're down to the lower bracket, playing either Paqueta or 9Z. Neither are an easy opponent. So, if you're W7M Academy, you're going to try and stay alive here. You're going to try and hold on, get this one over the line, go to Ancient, and see if you can fare better there than Inferno. But this buy is bizarre, Nate. Stormzyn saving with a Glock and 1,300 in the bank, but armor and full utility. Everybody else buying down to nothing.
I will call this a nuanced.
Yeah, they're saving for the op, right?
Yeah, it's got to be saving for the op. No doubt.
Surely that's not an oversight.
Well, I'd say it's definitely an oversight, but you know,
Tactical.
they have to make oversights. They have to overlook something, and clearly they prioritize utility for a B site take because they have 3 full sets and they're all grouping up, all congregating with 1:15 left. This is a very aggressive spot to be to throw the utility with only a Glock in hand. His teammate Foku drops in the meanwhile. E-Take will come through. There's 2 players on the platform, and a third in towards Temple. Chunky utility damage again coming in from Made in Brazil. Player Pizza not spotted. The flash does save him and find the opening. Insani though doubles down with 2 and burns in, finds the final nail in the coffin. A flurry of frags, most of which go the way of Made in Brazil's defensive side, as they secure the round succinctly. 7-5 secured. And is this going to be a save round? It should be a save round for W7M Academy. It better be. But, you know, Tech 9s and Kevlar could be justified.
I could see pistols. I could see a couple players with vests. I can see a bit of utility. Yeah, this is about what I expected. It's reasonable. And a fast B play on the cards as well. Where's the Molotov early from MIBR? It's burns it on the secondary op, actually, to get the first. Now comes the Molotov late. He'll grab a second with the Molotov kill, but Jay-Z, 1 with the Deagle. Doesn't make it 1, but 2. Bomb falls forward, though. Henny's here on the flank, grabbing a pair from behind. And Bob's your uncle. That round's over. 8-5, half secured for MIBR.
I hadn't realized. Brinton's at 15 and Sonny's at 16. Henny's at 3. And so is Exit.
But Honey has 7 deaths. Exit only has 3. Exit's seen 6 people.
I think Exit's like at 8. I think that's the situation for him.
Yeah,
and I think
he's the anchor.
Yeah, Henny's just been bouncing around looking for something. Yeah. Exactly. This has been a B-centric game thus far for W7M Academy, and Made in Brazil have been exploiting that quite well. Early rotations over towards Temple, etc. Insani, a consistent menace towards the middle. I was kind of worried because he was there alone and sticking his neck out quite a lot. And I thought, okay, he's going to be exploited. W7M Academy are going to find a way to just punish him time and time again, but it's been the opposite, in fact. It's Henny's turn now to support Insani. He'll find one. Exit. And will finally get some action. A dink, but not the kill. Answered the call, but the AK is just better.
He was ready for it, but he saw the shadow, just the AK far superior. Look how heavy the B lead was from MIBR, though, because that's where W7M have consistently hit. B. It's like they forgot the A side existed. But now the bomb's going down on A, and MIBR are going in for a take of their own. It looks like they are on T side right now with where their positionings are. So this is going to be an interesting hold for W7M, who don't have utility. MIBR have a good amount. Flashing in for Turtle and Insani. Z has been spotted, and sound cues give him away, but he does grab the first. Turtle trying to make his way in. Jay-Z is low. The Molotov could actually take him down, and he will tick low into the open. Finished off. stormzyn and saadzin all up and towards heaven. They do get one, but it burns on the Turtle, rather on the bomb. Burns it holding for him, but stormzyn in the nick of time is able to grab the final frag onto the diffuser. Will not be a 9th just yet for Made in Brazil. W7M Academy stay alive and grab a 6th. A 7th is a necessity. That one, too close for comfort for the T side. Considering it's a 4v4 retake. The fact they were about a half second away from dropping the round altogether.
They have pushed Made in Brazil to the brink, though. An MP9 for Burnson is less than ideal, but it's tough goings everywhere else. Everybody else has rifles across the board, including the op for Henny. Aggression middle, the op up close finds one is traded. Insani only gets a dink, not the kill. And W7M Academy finally picking up the pace, finally finding some early advantages. Exit towards middle, two. Foku finds the trade. This is a very big, different showing from W7M Academy. It leaves just saadzin now alone. The MP9 chimed in for one. This looks like a ninth for Made in Brazil, and saadzin has something to say about it. He's pressing forward, looking for something, grasping at straws. As you mentioned, this is a T-sided map. They need a 7th at minimum and the pistol in the following to really have a shot on this map. And well, no clean individual duels are being given at this stage. So plenty of time to work with, but the bomb is not in his control, and the remaining two defenders have grouped up. Burnson and Turtle, two players who had decent performances in this second map. saadzin looking everywhere in hopes of just finding something, but nothing's being given.
I think Burnson's a bit better than a decent performance, but we'll see. 18-8. Will it be 19-8 or 18-9? There's only two answers. And it will be 19-8 for Burns with a double dink through the wall. It's a 9-6 half for MIBR as we hit the halftime pause.
A return to normalcy for Made in Brazil in map number 2 as they looked far more convincing and far more cohesive. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and Made in Brazil lead 9-6 following their CT side start. very well poised now to take this in two. And their T-side setup, what is it? Maybe a bit of a split towards B on the cards as a player slinks up middle, burns him. He's had a barn burner of a first half. Can he keep up the momentum in the second? Dancing towards the double doors. He'll find a tag, but not the bag. stormzyn with the USB, wins that duel. Insani now, in his stead, will try to find the answer. Foku, though, is biding his time with the dualies. Meanwhile, the bulk of this Made in Brazil squad wait, take duels outside B, but don't outright commit. Another dink secured on the saadzin. That might spur the Made in Brazil take on.
It also might just let them fall away and go for something else. There's already a flank coming through. If Foku gets caught from behind or by Insani as he does here, that's an A rotation. It needs to be an A rotation in the minds of Made in Brazil. They're starting to fall away tentatively, but Insani's clearing up through E-Box. He's picked off a second player on the site. All three remaining players for W7M are here, including the two players that are in one-shot, very little two-shot territory. But it's a 3v3. Zed holding the line at range. stormzyn with another. saadzin finished off by Henny. Two players left standing. MIBR, they know where the last two players are. Why are they still continuing to pressure? They're still going in towards B, taking long-range fights against the USPs. Henny's closing the gap, and he's got the first of two required on the round. And there's the last body shot up into the brain. And there's double digits on the board for MIBR as well. And Made in Brazil. A very sketchy round, but one I feel like they're just like, we're just better, let's just do it.
Yeah, the rotations on this T side are also so incredibly long. It doesn't matter if they rotate. W7M Academy will already be there to greet them. I guess the other benefit of the doubt is the fact that they might split up and try to hold mid/A instead, but I do get the sentiment from Made in Brazil. You can't really rotate because of how long the rotation times are when compared to W7M's CT side rotation. So either way, they win the duel, or duels I should say, and they send W7M packing towards a pistol buy/save. Eagle towards A long finds nothing. It's all Made in Brazil thus far. Only 3 defenders remaining, 2 flanking. Make that just 1 as Henny drops the first. saadzin spams, grasping at straws, finds nothing. It's just him remaining. 12 HP. He's harvested by the MAC-10. 11-6 secured for Made in Brazil as they are looking to make this second half a very quick and convincing one.
66% win rate on the T side for MIBR. That's not a small number. In fact, Nate, I would say that's quite a large number. They should be ready to roll pretty quickly here. Guns are out for W7M Academy, but it's 2 FAMASs and M4A1s. Not ideal at all whatsoever. Might be a bit of a rough one here for the CT side, especially with the lack of utility and, more importantly, the lack of a defuse kit. It's a bonus for Made in Brazil, too, with the MAC-10s and the Galils. Not a single AK-47 in the hands of the T side. A side pressure. stormzyn, the one solo, is dispatched. And that, Nate, might even just signal the round here.
It might. This is a very big departure from what W7M were doing. It's a 2-man fake towards B and a 3-man take towards A main. We never saw such a play from W7M, and obviously they weren't expecting it either. Only a single A defender caught outright by the MAC-10, and now a 4 versus 5 retake with a late flank coming in from middle. This has the makings of a Made in Brazil shutdown as W7M just trying to get out. Burns in, looking for 1, finds it. A second, not meant to be, but damage has been done. Exits here as well, looking for 1. To find at least that, no. Daisy running around, finds that kill. 3 versus 3, but Made in Brazil aren't really worried about saving their guns. They're going to try to find the kills. They won't. Time saves W7M. But Made in Brazil, aggressive, comprehensive, and at this point, a cut above W7M Academy. This map could not be more different from Inferno.
I agree. This is more or less what I expected to see from this series as a whole, was MIBR stepping up and being the juggernaut that they are in this region at this level. Thought that they would just own it up and do their job. Get in, get out, fast and easy. Inferno was anything but fast or easy. But Anubis is looking much more Made in Brazil's speed. They made a lot of adjustments, even throughout the course of this game, Nate, because it didn't start off smooth. for the MIBR side. It still started off very much like Inferno did, back and forth and ugly and messy. But as time has gone on, MIBR seem to have woken up a little bit more, gotten more into the paces, into their game. And they're looking considerably better here on map number 2. Jay-Z, a very aggressive posture, but he can very well get plucked from this position, able to dash away. But he is spotted by the 2 players of Made in Brazil. Still, time is ticking away on the T side, barely making their move. It looks like an A split. But they're taking their sweet time here, and if they don't move fast, they're going to run out of it. Finally, they hit the gas. They start to go in. stormzyn tacked so low after his teammate dies, and he will trade that one out and grab an AK. Rotations back and forth for W7M Academy. There still is the mid flank, and this is what MIBR probably should have done on the pistol round, is rotate the other way. They draw the rotations, hit the other side.
Rotations for the T side can be fast when you have canals, and it's exactly the case here. Jay-Z one, though, takes down one of the 2 with the bomb in hand.
Look at insani, though.
Insani, though, yeah, through the temple, lurking in middle. Should have this player dead to rights. Jay's one might see it out of the corner of his eye. Dink kill. There we go. Insani finds it. A little bit worrisome there. He thought he got the bag, but not quite. He'll recover. Plant secured in the nick of time. 5 seconds remaining, and Insani sticking around does some damage as well. 2 versus 2, still anybody's round, but AK's waiting. Exit finds the first. Looking for the second. He knows where saadzin is. Swings out. A spray does connect. 13-6 secured. All rifles dropped. W7M Academy. They can buy rifles and Kevlar. It will be bare bones. It will be dire, but it can be done. The question is, will they go for it? Made in Brazil. They have momentum. They have the money. They have the utility. W7M Academy. At this point, they have to give away the 14th and save for the follow-up.
Pistols out to half pie, and Henny gets plucked early. Foku adds another one. Turtle was there for the trade and support, but it's a 2-for-1 in the favor of W7M. They're going to start backing away here and looking for something else, although still pressuring out towards the B site. 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs for Made in Brazil. W7M have not been able to recover any of those rifles dropped outside B. Bit of a boon it is for the T side working their way in. All 4 players, though, for W7M Academy in the general vicinity of this B site. Utility going in. They're going to know what's happening now. They're all in E-box, so they're going to flank around and split into the site. That's a neat adjustment, but is it going to be enough time to accomplish the goal? Will MIBR watch their 6 and keep an eye out for it? Especially now that they've just dispatched the second player out towards C-box.
There's the spot. Drop in the AK are going to have a difficult time in this choke point, or will they? It's Burnzyn. He's the top frag, but in a 1 versus 2, it's a lot to ask. saadzin with the op is posted on the right angle. If Burnzyn sticks his neck out just a little bit further, he's caught. saadzin watching dutifully. Burnzyn finds one saadzin, though. A quick scope on the trade. It is a round stolen away by the likes of W7M Academy. The question is, will it be enough? This is still an absurdly T-sided map, and Made in Brazil still have plenty of money to facilitate the buy.
Yeah, that one was a good flank and a good double kill on the site by Foku. Or not on the site, but on the push through B. That's the only reason W7M had a chance of that round. Was the first pick on Henny and then the trade on the Turtle. So, without that, there's not even really a chance. Those guns aren't picked up. And actually, that could have been something smart for MIBR to do, would be to throw those guns out of the map. That could have saved them.
Definitely could have.
So I'm pretty sure you can throw the guns out of the map over that little ledge.
A little bit too comfortable. You mentioned Idemers will have a way of allowing their opponents into the games when they reach such a stage as 13-6, 13-7. Full buy for both teams, though. Made in Brazil still looking comfortable, showing pressure across the map. This is the key difference. It feels like Made in Brazil are more comfortable knowing they have control of canals, and they use it far more often than W7M. It's facilitated quick rotations, a back and forth, more flexibility on this T side. However, W7M Academy They're making inroads elsewhere on the periphery over towards A main. Good damage on the Burnson. Although Insani, in the meanwhile, is taking control of mid, peeking in the double doors, looking for the first.
Slow and steady for Made in Brazil. Now they start to move, and Foku catches them off guard. A good flash from saadzin in there to facilitate that. Now it's the Opper's turn to shine. One and maybe a second. He lands it onto Henny. Turtle does strike, but he takes so much damage. Foku making all the noise on this heaven rotation. The time is so low, the noise doesn't even matter. Good kill from Exit, though. Now the bomb might even have... Oh, never mind. It's too far gone. It's around for W7M. There's no possible way to grab the bomb, get it down in time to facilitate a bomb plant. saadzin and Zed will mop up the players. And that's 2 in a row now for W7M Academy. Money gone for Made in Brazil as well. Maybe a hero rifle on a couple of these players and pistols on the rest. Or even just the one hero rifle. We'll see how MIBR want to play. They do like hyper-aggressive buy strategies. So I would not be surprised to see a second rifle coming through for Insani. And it wouldn't be a terrible call either, given the fact that you'd have your 2 best riflers on AKs and just have everyone else funneling behind them with pistols, Tech 9s, Mac 10s. That's a viable win strategy. But they call a timeout to discuss this and really figure out what they want to do.
Wise call. They still have the luxury of rounds. They're, what, 5 rounds ahead of their opponents at the stage. Still a lot to work with, but they can't let it get away from them. Do we see Insani on the AK? No is the answer. He goes for Kevlar, a helmet, and a deagle. The helmet is a bit superfluous, I would say. I don't think if you're getting dinked by the M4 that you're going to find a kill. Not at that stage with only a deagle, but I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. Op for saadzin, though, has been fiery for W7M Academy. It's been what's keeping them alive. It's been the difference maker. If Made in Brazil can mob that down with their numbers, they might have a chance in round number 20. Is this 22? Did I do the math right? Yeah, 22. Yep. Thank goodness.
It also says there at the top of the screen on the HUD.
Does it? Oh my god, I was doing it the hard way. It's way more fun to do it the hard way.
Might be more fun, but we don't have any twice math moments that way.
That's true. I'm also used to the old ESEA days where it says X of 99 and resets at half.
Yes. That is true.
Interesting. Oh. Okay. Weapons exchanged. I dig it.
Because Insani had the armor, that's why.
He got it middle, he has the armor, and now he's an AK.
Huh.
Takes that from Burnson. And now he has a commanding position in middle. I like this. Granted, if the AK goes down, it's down and out. There's no chance of recovery. But as it stands, this could be a hero flank in towards... Flash in, Foku wins the duel. It was dodged, but still, nevertheless, it draws his crosshair away. That's the most important. Crazy one spots. Turtle takes him out. That should be the round all but guaranteed. The op and uncharacteristic miss, only a tag, not... Actually, no, just an outright miss. Exit, though. Has no exit strategy, and Zed drops Henny. It's a clean and flawless one. As W7M Academy begin to find their footing. Only 4 rounds now separating these 2 teams. Made in Brazil, though, should have a decent enough... I was going to say solid, but no, it's not solid. They didn't get the bomb plant. It's going to be okay, but still nevertheless scrappy. And these kinds of buys are what allow W7M Academy back into this second map.
They are, but I think, too, for MIBR, they're getting a little bit lax. They're getting a little more... hasty. They're trying to end this too fast. They're not following their full protocols anymore. They're getting a little bit antsy. They're going for stuff they normally wouldn't do. And they're starting to get caught off guard because W7M are no slouches, especially when it comes into the aim department. We've seen a lot of great shots, a lot of individual duels won by the team. And MIBR are falling away from some of what's been working for the vast majority of this map and are starting to get caught by it. So a return to the basics might be in order here for MIBR. That was kind of a problem. They didn't really follow a lot of their corner clearings, especially the corner clearings on Inferno. Zed, you gotta check your bottom part, man. Oh, he's got it.
Free. You might have even seen the head there. I saw it on the hood. I think we have X-ray, right? So it could have been the X-ray instead. Not sure. Regardless, that's a big opening to find, and not a lot of time remaining for Made in Brazil either. They've now lost all the control towards the B main. And that draws their ire. All 4 players are looking towards B in the meanwhile. It is a distinct possibility. Daisy wants here to hold. Rinzen and his teammate walking up canals. Their positioning is known thanks to that flash from saadzin. And while he'll miss the shot, his teammate is here to support. This should be another clean one for W7M to cross that double-digit threshold. Zeed found the first. Second, not secured. And he finds that insani finds the second. Okay, interesting, but 12 seconds left. There's surely no way into it. Or is there? Can the bomb get through? That's the question. It doesn't win the duel. 6 seconds left. He has to stick it. Insani, he's on the side. He has time, and there's no one to contest. 2 versus 1 secured. Foku, can he recover this disaster of a round? He looks at the player killer who spotted him. Instead, he goes for the second. Gets the spray, but 7 HP remaining. Can he win the duel? The answer is no. Insani gets the plant, gets the frag, and finds the bag. 14-9. Made in Brazil now. Only 2 more required to close it out in a 2-0 fashion.
2-0, I would say, would be the expected result for MIBR. We've been saying that throughout the course of the afternoon so far. But MIBR have definitely made life difficult for themselves at certain times. And W7M Academy have been more than happy to capitalize on those mistakes. Now, MIBR back in the win column. That should help them spur forward to a victory. Henny catches Foku going for a peek. Looking for a little information. The op will finish off the cat. As you know what they say, curiosity killed the cat. So Foku is the feline, but Zaid and JZ push through B. And another opportunity for MIBR where they just get caught out towards B. It's 2 kills for free this time for W7M. And now noise has been made towards E-Box, which is going to let them know, hey, there's probably some people down there, at least one. MIBR, without the bomb and with a very tough retake ahead of them, I don't know what the call is here. This is... What do you do? Just save?
There's 30 players on the bomb. This is crazy. It's such a weird round. What a catawampus play. Just absolutely send this round reeling. That kind of push, though, is not something you can either expect nor reliably win. A double push towards the B main reeks of desperation. In this case, it does swing the favor towards W7M. A win like this is not replicable. Daisy 1 posted up, finds 1, finds 2. The flash only assists him in the second. He's just Henny. And he is goaded in by the reload, taken out as well. 10 secured for W7M. Now 4 rounds separating these two teams. And Made in Brazil, no bomb plant, no inroads anywhere. That sends them to the Stone Age. It's going to be some pistols, maybe a deagle for Insani, if he's counting his lucky stars, if he's playing his economy right. But it should be a W7M Academy round, barring some pistol nonsense for Made in Brazil.
Should be an 11th. Anything can happen, but it should be an 11th. The Deagle just looking to find a little bit of damage, I think, here. 1 kill, maybe 2. But MIBR finding it difficult to close out these games. And if I'm not mistaken, the Paqueta 9Z game is already done. No, it's actually not. It's gotten closer.
It got really close. It was 12-3. It's now 10-14.
14-10. Yeah.
That game has been absurdly close. It's actually a far more exciting one than I would have expected, given the 12-3 half.
Yeah, but 9Z is still in the lead there, as our MIBR. Much more even matchup. Foku needs to get these kills, but he can't do anything more than damage as a glorified HE. JZ gonna come through and try and clean up these messes. There's 2 more, but 2 kills on this kind of a round for MIBR is not bad at all.
The reason
in fact, that's probably a little more than, yeah, that's more than you could probably hope for. And look at the players that also happen to be the ones to fall. Those are the players with the least amount of residual money.
If he finds 1 more, this is important. Like, if he finds 1 more, this could be what gives them the edge in the next round to give them 15.
He knows. He knows.
So does Zeed. It's not a duel that he loses. 39 HP, though. Exit with the Glock in hand out of desperation. He knows how important this third is. He'll find it.
No way.
Can he get more? He can get even more. player's racing forward with a USP in hand. Exit around the pillar, trying to find some space. He will finally be unseated. But 3 kills in that situation is huge. With the economy as it is for W7M Academy, those kills are massive. That means a player is going to lack utility, or perhaps maybe lack a rifle outright, maybe a FAMAS instead. The buy is going to be difficult for a couple of these players. I say that. Money's looking better than I expected. Yeah, Zed will have enough money for the utility, but the nickel and diming is what could really hinder them should they lose a round. Because look at Jay-Z, look at Zed. They're both below a K, below 500, in fact. And so if they lose a round, the buy for W7M Academy could be disastrous.
Yeah, it's a knife's edge for W7M Academy, but it's also not smooth for MIBR, as they've not at least achieved overtime guaranteed. So it's a pretty awkward spot to be in for both sides. Of course, advantage to MIBR because 1, they're in the lead, 2, they already have a map on their side. But W7M Academy, they can also reset MIBR by winning this and close that gap considerably. Should be 13 after that, so they're in an area where a win can do wonders for their opportunities here on map number 2, but a loss pretty much torpedoes their boat. It's either not quite the highest of highs, but a very good high, or they're at the bottom of the ocean.
High risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm.
High risk, medium reward, I guess. They won that last round cleanly, it would be high risk, high reward. Slow round, though. Mid and Brazil are feeling the heat at this stage. Trying to run defaults, trying to hold, trying to play with respect. They have made some decent inroads, specifically towards middle. Insani's lurking around. Drawn out utility, drawn out that Molotov. Mid and Brazil, they're posturing for a B play. 3 outside B main. Potentially 1 could drop canals. Saadzin, though, is lurking around with the op. He's been incredibly impactful on the openings with the zoomed weapon. The issue is there's like no utility left. 1 smoke for W7M Academy, and that's it. The op, though, nevertheless, peeks in, finds the first. Jay-Z 1 on the back of Plat now. He's going to be tested. Zed lurking up long to bolster this defense. This is a very good setup for W7M Academy. Another secure. That's the bomb dropped in the open. And Brazil will try to continue on. They will finally unseat saadzin, but still 2 defenders to worry about. Zed 1 for 1. Jay-Z 1 now. Lurking around, is hoping to be the difference maker. Dancing around, spamming. He'll find some damage. Not the outright kill, but he's making these players uncomfortable. Henny and Exit. Both stacked up on the site. Exit finds the first. stormzyn, a good trade, though. In through E-Box, he finds 1. Henny back against the wall. Found the first, not the second. Not enough rounds, not the headshot secured. Foku, he's had a quiet map, but he's incredibly impactful in this one. In round number 26, he'll find the kill, and he'll continue the comeback. It's an expensive one, but it's a round 1 for W7M Academy. That's all that matters at this stage.
Hey, Nate, remember those statistics about both teams winning 60+% on the T side?
It's out the window.
Yep. It's gone.
It's like 66%.
66 for MIBR.
Yeah. And that accompanied with the lackluster stats on the CT side. Like, normally you can, with a stat line, what, 13-3? Is that the record for Mid and Brazil?
13-3, yep.
13-3. You can see overinflated stats on both sides. But no, they still have a dismal CT side, and yet here we stand with both teams putting up better CT performances. It's very...
Cattywampus?
It makes the game cattywampus, sure, but it makes this game, it's honestly on brand for this game. Given how much of a train wreck it's been on map number 1, it's very on brand for this game, but still, it leaves us wondering what could have been if this was more standard from out the gates. Very interesting take. Ends in a 3 versus 2 advantage, and the one way for the MAC-10 is good for 2. No shot. Turtle brings it to a 3 versus 1. We praised saadzin throughout this map. The question is, can he pull off a miracle 1 versus 3 to keep Made in Brazil off series point?
It's not the easiest of guns to make this work with, but he spots out the first, but time is against him. He does have a kit and a couple of flashbangs, but a Molotov, a smoke would be so handy.
Oh my goodness!
Turtle!
That was 2 opportunities.
Senses tingling?
I think he spotted him out the corner of his eye, but
Maybe.
That was 2 opportunities where he saw Turtle and couldn't pull the trigger quickly enough. That was 2 awkward situations, a little bit too pensive. He wanted to make absolutely certain that he had the kill, and that's what does him in.
It's the experience factor too. I mean, think about the level in the tournaments that MIBR has played at, Pro League. I mean, these guys have been around the block. Henny's played in a major final. So there's a lot of experience on the MIBR side that W7M do not have. Now they're going to push up. Turtle's waiting for this B play, but he still loses that fight. Insani gets the one on aggressing saadzin, but W7M are continuing this push. That sound cue. stormzyn is going to get taken down surely sooner or later. Sooner if MIBR want to go all the way through this smoke. Insani's going to run into him, and that's perfect. Just knife out, backstab. Unlucky for stormzyn there.
The economy buildup we were talking about, the damage being done by Mid and Brazil, finally bears its ugly head in this round. The buy is disheveled, to say the least. It leaves just one Foku in the 1 versus 4, finds absolutely diddly squat. Made in Brazil do rein things in. It was an ugly map 1, a less than ideal, but still better map 2 to end the series in a clean 2-0 fashion. 16-13 Inferno, 16-12 Anubis. They can...